After a brief hiatus, we are back with our annual occurrence, the CarWale Off-Road Day. And this year, we have an interesting lineup of 6 SUVs with one ground rule, and that's 4x4 capability. And for this, my choice of SUV is the new Mahindra Thar Automatic. This one is a diesel, and we know he had it in the last season, but why not? It's one of the most affordable and capable SUVs, and this SUV will take on all the obstacles, well, 5 of them that we have set at the Product Adventure in Pune. The 2.2-litre 4-cylinder diesel is mated to a 6-speed torque converter automatic gearbox. It churns out 130 bhp and 300 Nm of peak torque, and it uses a traditional transfer case setup, which means one has to manually shift from rear-wheel drive to 4-high to drive all the 4 wheels. It also comes with a dedicated low-range transfer case to take on the tougher and challenging off-road terrain. That said, it has a modern or independent double wishbone setup at the front and rides on massive 18-inch wheels shod with 255/65 all-terrain tires. Flaunting its off-road prowess is a ground clearance of 226 mm, an approach and departure angle of 41.8 and 36.8 degrees respectively, and a ramp over angle of 27 degrees. These are all very promising numbers that even translated to impressive results in a previous off-road outing with this SUV. And now it's time to introduce the Thar to 5 obstacles that it has to tackle. First up is the acceleration test. An almost straight line testing how fast and quick the Thar could do a 0 to 40 meter run on a loose surface with gravels. We kept the Thar in its default rear-wheel drive mode and smashed the throttle. With a dramatic wheel spin, the Thar sprinted like a baby rhino towards the finish line, recording a time of 5.6 seconds. Impressive? Yes. Did it beat the rivals? Well, check this points table. Next up on the list was the hill descent test. This was the time I engaged the 4-low gear and slotted the transmission into the manual mode. Nervously letting go of the throttle and brakes and trusting this Mahindra, the car started to descend the hill at a controlled speed. With my eyes focused on the road, carefully navigating the car around any obstacles, the Thar exited the pit in 17.69 seconds. Done and dusted. With a series of cones and markers in a zigzag pattern across a mix of grass and loose road, the driver should then start at one end of the course and weave through the cones at a moderate speed. The Thar is quite wide, and that means kissing the cone would be easier than avoiding them. Gripping the steering wheel tightly and darting my eyes back and forth between the cones, I scurried my way to be quick and precise to avoid hitting any of them. The car weaved through the cones with its speed increasing slightly, and with my heart pounding in my chest, I tried my best to remain focused. And finally, the car crosses the finish line and I slam on the brakes. Thar and me have passed the slalom test. The Beaker Test was probably the one which I disliked the most because of 2 reasons. One, because I couldn't drive, and second, I had to sit on the passenger seat with a 600 ml beaker filled to the brim with water. As it turns out, Vikrant had great fun and I had 120 ml of water drenching my trousers. The lap time is the test where it all comes together, my skills and Thar's capabilities. It requires a combination of a fast vehicle, a skilled driver and a favourable course. And that's where having a good engine oil for your car comes in handy. In fact, an engine oil designed specifically for SUVs like the Gulf Formula SUV can play a bigger role in both performance and longevity of a 4x4, especially in trying off-road conditions. The Thar remains a capable, purposeful, rugged and a versatile 4x4 SUV, and it can handle off-road terrain and all the challenges thrown at it with absolute ease. And while it may have not outshined the bigger and the tech-loaded giants in this off-road day, the Thar will always remain my choice of SUV for any off-road experience I would embark on.